Welcome back. We begin today with Monique Baskmeyer from Abbott Wealth Management. Welcome back to the show, Monique.
Thank you.
Yes. We're talking about financial behavior and how to be well behaved when it comes to our finances.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, when it comes to investment decisions, a lot of these are actually driven by our emotion, because we don't necessarily look at the fundamentals of a certain company or its share. And that's how actually emotion could actually push us in making a bad investment decision.
Okay.
So there's a whole range of biases regarding human emotional behavior when it comes to economic decisions. And I would just like to point out 3 of them, if that's okay.
Okay, should we get those boards going here?
Sure.
Okay.
This was just an introduction of what it entails. So one of these biases is actually loss aversion, and that is very simply put, humans prefer avoiding loss over acquiring gains. And in other words, it's more painful to lose something than it's actually joyful to gain something. And I did bring in an example. There's 4 options. The first 2 are actually an option of gain, and the second 2 are actually a probability of loss.
Okay.
So option A, gain $800 with a probability of 50%, or have a sure gain of $400. The other one, so which option would you choose?
Is there a right and wrong answer?
No. It's just how would you feel about it, right?
Right, so it's your level of risk.
Yeah. Yeah, and then option C, when it comes to the expected loss, is loss of $800 with a probability of 50, or sure, a loss of $400. Well, people usually are probably willing to take option A when it comes to gain 800 with a probability of 50%.
Right.
But when it comes to a loss, they switch to option B and to avoid the $800 loss. So it's a feeling of not losing anything that we hold on to.
Right.
So yeah, that leads to avoiding risk when the gains and losses are similar. The third slide is actually herd behavior, and it's a human tendency to follow the crowd into decisions we might not have made if we were just alone.
Right.
And it often comes down to social pressure and, oh, look what they are doing. Oh, well, it must be something. They don't know something that we don't. But this is a very easy and tempting trap to step into.
What would be an example of following the herd when it comes to your finances?
Well, there was one with actually the burst of the .com bubble, that actually companies invested in internet companies while there was not even a sustainable model out there at all. So the thing is too, well, okay, if we succeed, everybody is happy. If we don't, then, well, we did it all anyway, so what can you do about it? What we do see, there's always a next big thing, and we call it the shiny lure. And yeah, it's feeling pressured into something that you should really be aware of the consequences of what you're doing.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the slide number 4 is actually anchoring. So anchoring is a tendency of becoming attached to one piece of information and make an actual appropriate conclusion based on that particular information.
Is this a good thing or a bad thing to be anchoring?
That could work both ways. It depends. It's a depend. But I do have an example. So let's say that an investor might see that the market stock of a company is actually falling significantly, and this investor might be anchoring this particular event on a recent high of the stock. So he believes then that, okay, well, the stock is actually falling, so this could be a good opportunity to buy at a discount.
Yes.
Well, this could be true, but it's also possible that the stock is actually declined to a change in underlying fundamentals. And if that were the case, then it could have been that the price has risen in the first place due to high revenue from last year. But now a major customer comes along and decide of not to renew their purchase agreement with that particular company.
In other words, it may never rebound.
Right, and that's the thing. So that investor is anchoring it on that high, but it's actually, it goes deeper one layer when you think about it, because now the price have fallen, and that caused, you know, it's a total different dynamic. So making the decisions, you always should look to find multiple inputs that way and just not rely on one piece of information. There's more usually to that side of the story.
Absolutely.
And then the last one that I have actually is with
Warren Buffett.
a quote from Warren Buffett.
Oh, I feel like Mark Bertoli's here right now. He quotes Warren Buffett regularly.
So what is needed is actually a sound intellectual framework for making decisions and the ability to keep emotions from corroding that framework. And if you're able to do that, then you will succeed.
And
with
that's good,
investing.
because not everyone does. It's hard to keep your emotions out of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good, good, good. And of course, Warren Buffett, a multi-billionaire, he seems to know what he's doing, so it's good advice to take. Monique, thank you very much for being here today.
Thank you so much, Susan.
Very welcome. If you have any questions for Abbott Wealth, the information is on the screen, the website as well, abbottwealth.com, phone number as well, 372-3736. We're back after a quick break. Stay with us.